What's up, family? It's your guy Benjamin 7, and we back again to put this work in. This is TCC, where we talk about truth, culture, and community. And you know I got another good one for you. Since we are bringing Gay Pride Month to a close, I thought I'd hit y'all with another banger. Now understand, I'm not trying to bash anybody or any community, but functionality is more important than feelings. And I see that it is a push to promote the way I feel, the way I see a thing, instead of understanding how things naturally work. And this is what we do. We talk about truth. Truth is, things just function a certain way. They just do. Man meets a woman, they get married, they produce children. That's always been the natural order of things. So I don't understand how people get off thinking that a man can be with a man and a woman can be with a woman, and a man could be born a man but then want to be a woman, or a woman could be born a woman but then one day want to be a man, and think that that's okay. You can do what you like, but that don't mean it's gonna work. This is my platform, and I like to represent the truth at all costs. I know a lot of people don't like some of the content that I put out, but that's all right. That was my little disclaimer before we get off into this video. But check it out, I got another one for you. A pastor being interviewed by a gentleman, and this pastor so happens to be a homosexual who brought his boyfriend in the audience. You can't see the boyfriend, but the boyfriend is there in the audience in support of him, and just this guy's theology and what he deems to be right based off of what he feels and how he understands the Bible and seminary school which he went to. You know, it's just quite interesting. So I want you all to check this out. Stick with me. I'm gonna drop my little commentary. But the main point of this video is to really show how people don't hear themselves speak. You know, they philosophize their feelings in their mind and in their heart, and then they try to convey it, but they don't really hear how crazy it sounds. It's really far-fetched. This guy's understanding of who God is and what life is and what the Bible is. And this is also to my Christian community. I know it's a lot of my people. I don't mean like people that I know personally, but my people, my nation, the supposed black people, supposed black man that are caught up in a lot of these religions, mainly Christianity. You know, I just want y'all to understand, this is really how some of you all's leaders think. And I know you all are not really allowed to question them, but Benjamin 7 don't care. You ain't gonna be able to tell me jack without explaining what you're talking about. If you can't explain what you're talking about, and I know everybody don't know everything, but you gotta be, you at least gotta be able to defend your faith and make it to where someone else can understand it. And a lot of these Christian preachers or pastors or reverends or whatever you want to call it can't do it, and they lead people astray. This brother is one of them. So check this out.
I have with me today Pastor Kurt D. Thomas. He's a senior pastor of the Renewed Church of Los Angeles. Am I right?
That is correct.
Renewed Church of Los Angeles. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
I absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you.
And so, were you called to be a pastor, or did you go to school for it?
Well, at the age of 9, I felt the presence of God over me. I grew up in a Pentecostal church, so I went through that entire Pentecostal experience. And it wasn't until I matriculated through college that I decided to get a bachelor's degree in theology, or to study theology while I was at Stillman College.
Oh, I see. So God didn't call you. You just you decided to
Oh,
go
no.
to school for it.
No. I believe that I was called by God to do what I do.
Oh, you do.
Yes.
And why do you believe that?
Why do I believe that I was called? I know that I'm called to do what I do because because I have a passion and I have a desire to see people elevated from where they are to where they need to be.
Question number one to my people who are caught up in these religions, and you got the right to do this. Start questioning your leaders. You dig what I'm saying? First question is ask them. First question you should ask them is, how do you know you've been called to be a preacher? And I'm 100% sure that they're gonna tell you, well, God called me. Bro, how do we know? How can we verify that you've been called by God to preach? They won't be able to tell you. You just gotta trust what they say. This brother is a pastor of a church, yet he's a homosexual. He's living in a way that's against what naturally works. People always talk about, we can't see God, we don't really understand God. Bro, you got eyes. Even people who don't got eyes can see how things naturally work. Man gives his seed to one man, and they produce children. That is the makeup of the Creator. That simple, that plain. But people don't want you to question their theology and what they believe. So this is a tidbit to all my people. Start questioning your leaders. You feel what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
So if I read, and I don't know if it's true or not, I like to ask the person before I mention,
Okay.
know if it's true or not. Are you a homosexual?
I am a same gender loving man.
So does that mean you're a homosexual?
It means that I'm a same gender loving man.
But just from, I'm black and slow.
Okay.
And just for the record, does that mean you're a homosexual?
I could be considered a homosexual.
Are
yes.
you considered? I don't want to think of you if you're not.
I'm a homosexual.
You're a homosexual?
Yes.
And so you're a homosexual pastor?
I am a homosexual pastor, yes.
How long have you been a homosexual pastor?
I've been a pastor
Explain yourself.
for 8 years, senior pastor, and then before that, prior to that, I was a youth pastor.
Oh, okay. Why do you think that God would call a person, a homosexual, to be a pastor but not change him?
So, I don't think that God majors where we minor.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The gentleman said, God doesn't major where we minor. You also got to be careful of these little quotes and these sayings that your pastor's saying, that don't really mean nothing at the end of the day. Like, what does that mean, bro? God doesn't major where we minor? He doesn't major where we minor? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? I don't understand that. But this is the theology that's in the church now. Let's keep going.
And so I think that what happens is I think that we put limitations on God that God doesn't have. For example, we could, if you go to seminary or something like that, you find out that there's a thought process that God could possibly be a woman, or that God could be this, or that God could be that God can be whatever it is that you need him to be.
I know y'all heard that in church. Whatever you need him to be, baby. God is all that you need him to be. He said, I am that I am. So even if you need him to be a woman, he's a woman. Even if you need him to be a homosexual, which means you're a homosexual and you need your God to validate your view of the world, even if you need him to be a homosexual, he'll be a homosexual. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. This is really the doctrine that is going on, but we don't know because we don't ask questions. Like, this really how people think in the church. They be sick as all get out, but be preaching over you, and you afraid to question what they saying. And they're doing everything they possibly can to go against the Creator's natural order. See, this is what happens when you have no law. You know, the church is quick to say, "Oh, the law done away with. We all under grace." Well, this is what happens. If we can't identify sin, then bro, you can't say nothing about me being, not me, but you can't say nothing about nobody being gay because we've done away with the law that tells us what's wrong. Is that not what church is? You know you can't judge. Oh, don't judge me. You know we can't judge now. That's what it is, man. Wake up, y'all. We need the Torah to teach us right from wrong. Period. If you do not subscribe to the instruction of the Creator, you should not be preaching over nobody. I don't care if you got a bachelor's at seminary. You can't preach over nobody because there's no law. It's anarchy. It's like the Wild Wild West. That's what the church is. I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
To be.
So could it be a homosexual too if you needed him to be one?
Well, honestly, I don't think that God, the Bible says that God is neither male nor female.
Right. So how can it be a woman then if he's not a female?
Well, I'm saying that. So there's a book that's by who's the book by? There's a book that is written. It's called what is it called?
Well, that's all right about the title. What about the book?
But in the
You gotta go outside the Bible to explain the Bible. This is crazy, man. This is pure D foolishness. I gotta go outside to understand who God is. Yeah, all right. Let's keep going.
But in the book, the principles of the book talk about God swaying himself to this, and it's called The Shack by W.M. Paul Young. And so if you read that book, then you find out that God basically finds himself congruent to whatever state of mind a person is in. And so at one state, God is a Jewish carpenter. At one state, God shows himself as a big black woman in the kitchen cooking.
Big black woman?
A black woman in the kitchen cooking. And
So you think God could be a big black woman?
I think that God can be whatever it is that you need God to be at that moment.
Do you think that God could be a homosexual too?
I don't. If God needs to be a homosexual, I think that he was, but I don't liken him to that.
Y'all see what I'm saying? Again, this guy's a pastor. He's a homosexual pastor. And hey, if you want to be gay, yo, be gay, man. Understand that you're going against the Creator's natural order of things. And since you're doing that, you definitely shouldn't be preaching salvation to people. If you want to be gay, if you want to like dudes, or you're a woman that want to like women, hey, do that. But don't be trying to preach the supposed truth to people, because you are not living the truth. You were born a man. Men are supposed to find a woman. Women are supposed to be chosen by a man, and they're supposed to raise a family. If you're not into that thing there, you should not. Put the Bible, close the Bible. Don't touch it. Go do something else, man, because you're leading people astray, and it's not right. Let's keep going.
So I want to go back. You say God is a black woman.
I didn't say God was a black woman. I used the book as an analogy
That God was a black woman?
to show us that God could be whatever it is that we need God to be.
Amazing. Do you believe that book?
I believe that God could be whatever it is that we want God to be.
Really?
Yes.
And so you've been a homosexual all your life, you said earlier, right?
At the age of
You wanna
nine, I knew that I liked the same sex. Yes.
How did you become that way?
I didn't become that way. I knew that was my innate nature to like men.
And so how did your nature go from a natural nature of being a man or male to an unnatural nature of becoming a woman? How did that happen?
You said the unnatural nature of me becoming a woman?
Yeah, if you were born a natural male, right?
You're born a natural male.
Right, you were, right?
I said the unnatural nature of me becoming a woman?
Yeah, if you were born a natural male, right?
You're born a natural male.
Right, you were, right?
I am a male currently sitting here in front of you.
But how did you go from being a natural male to an unnatural woman?
Who's an unnatural woman?
But isn't homosexuality is like being a female feelings?
No,
What is it?
no.
What is it exactly?
Being gay is, or being gay, being a homosexual, whatever term like that a person wants to
Right.
use to identify themselves. It's an innate state of being. It means that this is who that person is. If I'm not a woman, I'm a man sitting here in front of you having a conversation. I have a penis, just like you have.
Well,
a
you
penis.
do have the male parts.
This is the illness that I'm talking about. You want to reference how you are a man. You want to be respected as a man and say that you have a penis, but you don't want to use it for what it was given for. It's not just there to look good and be played around with. It's to reproduce. You have seed. You have seed, sir. You're supposed to produce. But you're wasting your seed on what you feel you want to do. That's sick. It's no disrespect to anybody. That's just sick. If you were created to do something, but yet you say, and you feel in your heart that I don't want to do it, I got the right, that's cool. But when the one who allowed you to be asks you about it, I hope you got some answers, dog. And another thing, maybe your pastor ain't gay. A lot of them are, but maybe he ain't gay. But most of these people got the same type of sick, twisted ideology when it comes to the Bible. It's all about how they feel, what they think, how they interpret it. These churches, it's time for us to come up out of them and start following the ways, the laws, the statutes, the judgments, the precepts, the stuff that can be traced and followed. So you ain't gotta be like, hey pastor, how you know you was called? Well, God told me, he whispered in my ear, he said it in a dream. Like, how am I supposed to verify that, man? Quit playing games. This gentleman is asking some really good questions, man. Understand, when you question your leaders, this is how they gonna get. If you do a little too much questioning, they gonna say you an insubordinate member, or you disobedient, or it's a demon on you. That's just the little games that they play at church. Like, you can't question leadership, no matter how wrong they be. This brother's somebody's pastor. Do y'all hear this dude? He be preaching over people. He say he here to make the world better and to help people get from a downtrodden state to living their best life. This is what his job supposedly is. But he's wasting his seed. And this is where we come to a climax. The interview is getting ready to abruptly end.
Why do you think you're
Homosexuality is not a feeling; it's a state of being. It's who the person innately is. It has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with creating a feeling that you're talking about. It's an innate. It's the innate nature of who that person is. I innately am who I am. Me being gay or homosexual has nothing to do for me with being a man. It has everything to do with my preference and who I choose to sleep with.
It's about his preference and who he chooses to sleep with. First of all, he ain't mentioned no marriage, he ain't mentioned no life commitment, he ain't mentioned no covenant. He mentioning whatever dude he chooses to sleep with. That's his preference. And that's based off of how he innately feels. That's what he grew up feeling. That's what he was born being and feeling like. It's always about I think, I interpret, or I feel in these churches. It ain't about what does the text say. What does the script say? It's always about what somebody think, interpret, or feel. Let's end this out, y'all.
Just before we started the show, you said that you introduced your Is he your husband or your wife? Is that your husband? He gonna be your husband or your wife? Is he your husband or your wife?
I gotta applaud Buddy on the line of questioning, man. I really do, man. This really tickled me. And I'm not a homophobe. I don't hate gay people. I'm just saying, if you're gonna be about something, if you wanna be acknowledged for whatever it is, your rights or whatever, you know, understand or don't get mad when somebody questions you. When somebody wants understanding of whatever it is that you kicking, don't get mad. Just explain yourself if you can. When a person is questioned and they get mad or frustrated, that shows that whatever it is that you believe is not based off of a firm foundation. It's not true. Because if it was, you would be able to stand there and defend whatever it is that you believe. Now, in this last little part of the video that I'm gonna play, you gonna hear the dude that the pastor brought, which is supposedly his boyfriend or whatever the case may be, whoever. You gonna hear him. You gonna hear him. You know, his voice deeper than mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, but y'all an item? You brothers is together? Like, two deep voiced dudes don't belong together, man. You need a supple little lady that's dainty and sweet and beautiful from the inside out. You want to... Let's shut this down.
I'm gonna end this interview.
Why?
Because we're ending this right now.
Why you want to end?
We're ending it.
Well,
Take
wait,
this
come
off.
back.
Take this off. When you want to have a real conversation,
I'm
call
having-
me.
I'm-
No, you're bullshitting me.
I'm-
No, you're bullshitting me. No, you're bullshitting me. No, you're bullshitting me.
That's enough, y'all. Flag on the play. Pastor out here cursing and everything. There's somebody pastor out here showing out. Oh man, this was good. This was good. This really tickled me, Pink. It's unfortunate because this is someone's shepherd. You know, they're allowing this brother to lead their lives. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but as the old folks say, don't hate the player, hate the game. And I'm gonna say I dislike both of them. I don't like the player or the game because people's lives are being lost. This ain't cool. Stop following people that you can't verify. You know each person by their fruits. I don't care what you say. God told me. I don't care. Let me see your fruits. And if your fruits show that you don't want to reproduce, why am I listening to you, man? If your fruits don't show forth the Creator, bro, I don't want to hear what you're saying. I don't want to hear what you're saying. If you want to understand who the Creator is, go back to the Torah, His instruction. That will tell you exactly who He is. He's not just this old, sweet, supple love. No, He's a God of order, justice, judgment, righteousness. We ain't got time to play no games, man. This is real life out here. Stop following guys like this dude. Pastor whatever. Stop. In my conclusion, I'm never trying to offend anybody. But it's lives at stake here. Real talk. Stop following these clowns, man. That's just saying they pastors and can put together words and get a couple people to follow them. Like, man, it's time out for that corners. Y'all gonna have to come better than that. Period. I am your guy, Benjamin 7. This is TCC, where we talk about truth, culture, and community. And truth is, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I be striking chords. Like I'm playing a guitar. I'm going to continue to address the things that people don't want to talk about. I'm going to continue to be that guy who's flashing light in the dark places. This channel ain't for everybody. I always said the perspective is always going to be different because it's based on the truth. And nobody wants to hear the truth because they've been living a lie. This is what we do. I know this video was a little lengthy, more lengthy than the ones I usually make. I had to get this point across to close out the LGBTQ plus ACDC. I don't know no more, y'all. They out here though, and understand that this agenda will be pushed and promoted no matter what. So you're gonna have to stand for something. Please be found standing on the solid foundation, the word of the Most High. I am your guy, Benjamin 7. I appreciate y'all for stopping through. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell to be caught up on more content, because this is what we do. Much love, much respect. Shalom.